So welcome back to the channel, and this is my wife's HP, or it was my wife's HP Envy. I forget what model it is, but it's an HP Envy laptop. You know, it flips in half, becomes a tablet. Pretty cool little laptop. And she had this thing for many years, and we wound up flipping it and moving her on to something way better. And you might say, well, what's way better than this? A Lenovo. I think the T14, if I'm not mistaken. Love that laptop. Yeah, it doesn't have the touchscreen, which she kind of misses, but it's faster, it's quieter, it's just more well built, and that thing just holds up really well. But anyways, I sold this laptop. I think I sold it for like two or 300 bucks. I think I sold it for like 300 bucks a couple of years ago, if I'm not mistaken. 500 gig M.2, all that type of stuff, and the customer was happy with it. Well, a couple of weeks ago, he reaches out to me and he's like, hey, you know, this thing is not booting, all that type of stuff. I said, bring it in, I'll take a look at it. Took a look at it, and the storage drive is bad. Bummer. Yep, storage drive is bad. Normally, it's not too big of a thing, but when the storage drives are costing almost $100 for a 500 gig to a terabyte, just depending on the week and the flavor that you're looking for, that's not good. So I give them a quote for my service and a reasonable storage drive that I would trust for it. Obviously, this thing is 2 years since I sold it, so I'm not going to warranty that. And I think that storage drive would have been outside the warranty anyways. But either way, I gave him a quote and he was like, I don't want to pay for it. I was like, yeah, I got you. And the quote was something like roughly like $200, give or take. Mostly because I think he wanted a 1 terabyte. That might have been the thing with it. But either way, I got to charge my service fee and all that type of stuff. And he said, nah, I'm good with it. I don't want to upgrade it. I'm just gonna toss it pretty much. So I said, oh, okay. I said, hey, you know, I'll give you a couple of bucks for it if you're not going to do anything with it. And because I have good rapport with my customers and all that type of stuff, I try to help them out the best I can. He's given me a lot of business and I've hooked him up a lot of times, waived service fees and all that type of stuff. He just gave it to me. So it's like, great, pretty awesome. But now I have a laptop that, well, it needs a storage drive, which is bummer. Now, I do have storage drives. Don't get me wrong, I do have storage drives, but I don't have a plethora of storage drives. And I do got to keep some around for me, for my personal stuff and, you know, family members, the wife's computers. You know, I got to hold on to my stash. And what I'm saying is that they're expensive. And this is the issue that I'm running into with my side hustle. Now, I like to go out and flip computers, buy them cheap on the Facebook Marketplace, and I got some pretty good deals on them. But I haven't been able to flip computers because the price of storage and memory has kind of been hurting the hustle a little bit, which is unfortunate. Now, some people say, well, it's time to bring back DDR3. To an extent, you can use it, but realistically, on a laptop like this, and I'm seeing this a lot more with my laptops, it's not really an option. It's not like you can rebuild this to a DDR3 laptop. Got to put DDR4 or, you know, storage and all that type of stuff that's actually decent for it. This is kind of a pain. I hate this thing. And I think this is the one that I sliced my finger on a couple of years ago. There we go. But yeah, that's kind of the situation that we're in. And I've had a bunch of customers run into that issue with me where the repair for parts costs more than what it's worth. And it's not only HP or anything like that. I mean, Apple's a prime example. A lot of their parts are ridiculously expensive, and it's unfortunate. But the issue that we got going on is that RAM and storage prices are so expensive. And now when you're trying to repair a laptop or even flip any type of computer, when those two components cost a good chunk of the value of the system, a lot of people are not going to want to go down that rabbit hole. And especially in the repair part. Like I told you, I'm not selling computers like I used to. Before this whole RAM Armageddon and storage Armageddon, I used to do 20 to 30 computers a month in my little garage. No, definitely not happening. Now, I do about 3 to 5 if I'm lucky. The good thing is the 3 to 5 that I'm doing, they sell really quick, and I get asking price, and when I am able to sell them, I actually do quite well. But then the other issue I run into, besides the fact that I have no idea how this comes out, oh, I think it comes out like that. It's like a magnet. How in the world do I can't remember how to get this out, folks. But the other issue I run into is that I can't keep up with the demand, and it just becomes sometimes a bidding war, I guess, because of the prices that I have. So you kind of feel bad because you want to sell computers to people and, you know, make them happy and help people out. And a lot of people give you a lot of stories of their situation and, hey, I need a computer, my son desperately needs one, or my daughter, they want to get into gaming, and it is so intense to sell a computer. That's kind of the best way to put it nowadays, just because of these prices. And then if I'm able to sell a computer for a decent price, they move quick. But kind of going back to what I was talking about, this is the issue that I'm running into. I do a lot of repairs on the side for people. What a shame, WD Black, 500 gig. But anyways, it is what it is on that. But I do a lot of repairs for people on the side, try to help them out. And that's been lucrative, but a lot of people cannot afford to get their computers fixed. And there's not much I can do about that. And then they're asking me, hey, well, do you want to buy it since I don't want to pay the money to get it fixed? I can't buy their computer because if they can't afford to get it fixed, I definitely am limited on what I can afford to get it fixed. And you want to help people out and try to give them the best price and discount, but then at what point, you know, you got to be able to pay your own bills. So I always end up feeling bad about that too. And maybe that's why I am not like a millionaire in this computer business, because I don't want to get greedy. But the way the market is, my concern is, how am I going to fix people's computers moving forward if the customers can't afford the parts? And I'm not in a position where I can get the parts in a bulk deal and save some money. So that's definitely not good. I remember years ago, I used to get on Amazon Prime deals, pick up a bunch of 256 gig SSDs or 500 gig SSDs, dirt cheap, pop them in there, and run with it. You know, my question with this, will it get better? I don't know. I don't think so. Because when a customer can't afford to fix their computer that's old, that they don't want to spend any more money on because they've gotten their life out of it, they'd rather just go out and buy something cheaper and newer because it looks better and the quality of something older was better. You get what I'm trying to say? The perfect example is those Lenovo laptops that I love so much. They don't look fancy, they don't look great, but man, are they solid and well built. And I will keep repairing those laptops and buying them cheap as long as I'm able to, or as long as they are relative. But stuff like this, people are just gonna toss it. Now, this is not a terrible laptop. I think it's a Ryzen 5 4000 series. I predict so much decent hardware is gonna end up going e-waste, and I'm already seeing it because I've been able to pick up a bunch of computers without storage or memory, but a lot of computers are end up going to waste because people cannot afford the parts to get it fixed, and particularly the storage and the RAM. Oh, BitLock recovery. Well, we're gonna do a fresh copy anyways. So let's Control-Delete. I think this one is gonna be the F10. Are you F10 today? F9. There we go. So yeah, so this whole situation is kind of unfortunate. Now, as far as this laptop, I have those 256 gig storage drive. That's what I'm gonna pop in here, install that, and just go ahead and flip it like that. It's unfortunate that that WD Black, I've never had one go bad, but that one went bad. But I mean, nothing lasts forever. So it makes you wonder, what is going to be the plan moving forward? You know, is my side hustle really done for? I'm not sure. As far as my plan with YouTube, the good thing is that I got some cool ideas, projects, and different things I want to do. I'm really liking some of the older stuff that's actually affordable and still relevant. We've been taking a look at a couple of X99s and all that type of stuff, and it's actually been doing really well. And even looking at like old Xeons with ECC memory and all that type of stuff. So that's probably going to be the goal moving forward. I'm still going to do the used parts hustle, and maybe what I need to start working on as far as content, as far as me, is actually showing how I take this hardware that I get, how I refurbish it, and how I sell it. If you're interested, definitely let me know in the comments. We could do a series on that. But as far as YouTube, I'm not going anywhere. Just wanted to give this update because I did a video like this at the beginning of the year in January, and now kind of seeing where we're at halfway through the year. Things haven't gotten better. They've kind of sort of gotten a little bit worse. Kind of like what I talked about in that first video. If you're not able to get PC parts, how are you going to be able to repair PCs? I've already run into the issue with the RMA process taking way too long. I've had people just junk their PCs just because the price of RAM and storage is ridiculous. And not even that. I know I keep talking about that, but even graphics cards are just ridiculous in itself. I've seen some customers go from something like a 4080 that fried on them, and they've had to downgrade to like a 3060. So I've seen that happen a bunch. And I actually have one guy, he had a real nice one. He had a nice system that he put together, got totally fried in an electrical storm. Homeowners insurance didn't want to cover it. And the only thing that was salvageable was the CPU. I think it was the CPU was the only thing that was salvageable on it. I know the graphics card was fried, and it was like a 5090 graphics card, something like that. But I was able to salvage the CPU, and I think the memory on it was the only two things. He actually junked that to me because he tried diagnosing it himself, and he said, just whatever you think you can get working, keep it. So that was actually bad for him, but good because I wound up with a real nice CPU that I wound up flipping because it made no sense to sell that. I think it was something like I want to say it was the 9950X3D, which I thought about putting it in my main rig and selling my X, but either way, I'd rather have just taken the money on that. So that's what I kind of did with that. And the same thing, and as far as the memory, I actually went ahead and just put that as extra memory for me because I don't have DDR5 memory to test. So it worked out pretty good because I wound up with extra testing memory. I was able to flip that CPU. The case, I used it for another projects I had or for another flip on that, but everything else was pretty much junk on that. But I mean, in his case, another 5090 would have been $3 grand. He had like 2 terabytes. That would have been about another grand right there. So yeah, see what I mean? Not as easy to rebuild as we thought. So just wanted to put this video together, just kind of give an update and also get some feedback on your thoughts as far as the computer world. And is it depressing? Yes, as far as if you're trying to look for the latest and greatest and just try to enjoy the innovation and technology, but I've also had more comfort, more enjoyment, and just looking back at some of the older stuff that's actually still relevant years later, some of the weird wonky computer stuff. Computer cases have been fun to go out and take a look at. I've had a lot of people reach out to me to do case swaps for them. I've done 2 myself, cooling solutions. So there are some avenues that are still really enjoyable as far as computers. But like I said, the days of having the latest and greatest and even trying to maintain some of it, it's insane. So hope you enjoy this video. Definitely leave some comments. Let me know your thoughts, concerns, criticisms. Do you think it will get better? What are your solutions for not having parts to fix people's computers? And what enjoyments are you taking as far as the PC world and the way it's at? Thanks for watching.